Thomas, it's up for grabs now!
Magic ball from Bergkamp to Patrick Vieira!
Oh, would you believe it? Oh, right, what a way to get it!
Fabulous solo goal by Thierry Henry.
Champions.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's the Kitty G, aka EGTV. You already know where to catch me, but we're here at the Arsenal Lounge. You already know what it is. We're chilling, but you know what? Arsenal have been stressing us out, guys. We already know this. Let's not let them stress us out too much. Hopefully, a game against Burnley is what we need to bounce back after 3 home defeats in a row. Don't forget, we lost to Leicester. We lost to Wolves at home, and we also lost to Aston Villa. I tried to forget about that Villa game, in my opinion. I don't know about you guys, but let me get started. I got 3 wonderful guests here, actually 2 wonderful guests right now. Lev's in the background, and we got Kesh coming through and some other guys coming through. They're just running a little late. African Guna, what are you saying, bro? Tell me, you still stressing out over the losses, or you calm down a little bit?
Still like in the middle of the two, still stressing out, but not really stressing out because frankly, let's be honest, the season in the Premier League is really over for us. So all we really need to focus on is getting better so that we can perform in the Europa League with United dropping down. And there are really serious teams in there. Hopefully we get a good pick and a good draw. But I was saying, you know, every time I hear this intro video, I love it. It gives me goosebumps, man, and it really hypes me up. So yeah, big up to the intro video, whoever made that.
Oh man, you know what it is? It's the nostalgia of the players.
Yeah.
But of course, big up to them, Shaheen and Lev for making the intro. But yo, Brandon, what do you say, man? How you feeling?
Just like everybody else, mate. Stressed out. I'm really. I don't know. It's. I don't know whether we're going to beat Burnley this weekend. Honestly. And African Guna, I want to ask you something, mate.
Yeah.
I might be wrong, but I'm sure I see on Twitter that you was Arteta out now. Am I right?
African Gunnar, did you freeze there? Oh, we lost him. Oh, Brandon, we lost him.
Oh,
I don't know if he's Arteta out, but the internet's not working with him today. Anyways, honestly, man, we know what's going on with the whole Arteta out brigade, and everybody's saying Arteta out, everyone's saying Arteta in. People going all about all these things. But Brandon, right now we got a big game to focus on, and African Gunner's back. African Gunner,
I don't know what happened there. Like perfect time.
Are you Arteta out now?
No, I'm not. Is that the question that he was asking me? Yeah, Brandon, I don't know, man. I don't know. Like the thing is, like, yes, cool. Like if we get a new manager, definitely we can be playing better. But the players are still crap, man. Like the players are still crap. So even if we get a new manager, like things are not really going to make that much of a difference. The only thing is that a new manager comes in, I don't think they're going to have the power to get the players that we want. So really I'm in a standstill. Like I feel like nothing we do really is going to make much of a difference unless we sign the players. However, Arteta choosing Bellerin, Xhaka, these players, I can't even defend him, right? And he's giving me more and more reasons to come onto your wagon. And a couple more losses, hence this weekend, if we lose, then I don't know what to tell you. I have no choice but to say Arteta out because there's nothing that he's giving me to say, cool, like he needs to stay. So yeah, that's my opinion.
We're starting this quick and fast, right? But hey, enough about Arteta out, Arteta in, all that. There's right now we're talking about Arsenal, and we're talking about the club, we're talking about the game that we have and the predictions and everything else. But before we go into the game, we just played that Europa League game. Anybody you've seen in this Europa League game that we just had that stamped their authority or put their name in the hat for players to be selected in the 11 or maybe on the bench, in your opinion? I'll start with you, Brendan.
Balogun has to be on the bench at the weekend. I know Mikel is a big fan of Eddie Nketiah, but we can all see that he's not of the level. You see it in the Europa League game, right? Yeah, okay, he scored a goal, but when Balogun came on, he just looked so much more powerful, so much more composed. Yeah, he just looks like he's on another level to Nketiah, and I think we need to give the guy a chance.
Yeah.
100%. And you say that, Brandon, but I have fans telling me, oh, Nketiah is our top scorer this season, like all this crap. I mean, listen, yes, you need to score the goals, but one, he scored tap-ins, really, most of his goals, at least 5 of them are absolute tap-ins. And then secondly, he's playing against farmers, man. Like you put Mustafi or Xhaka in the striker role in the Europa League and they're scoring goals too, man. So, People don't see it, but Nketiah is not it for me. He's definitely not Arsenal level. You look at Balogun, you look at his hold up, you look at his finishing. That finishing was Alexis Sanchez / Aubameyang finishing. One touch, bang in the corner. Seriously, I don't think Nketiah is scoring that. Maybe 1 out of 3 times he's scoring that. Whereas Martinelli and Balogun, they're scoring it 1 out of 2 times, right? And I'll take that, obviously, over 1 out of 3 times. 100% give him a go. We have nothing to lose this weekend. Put Aubameyang back on the left and play Balogun. I think he could do great.
I think Eddie would have tried to take an extra touch there and try to go around the keeper, where Balogun just hit it first time, and that was what we needed in that second. I know it's not against the best opposition, but first, let's just get some of the stuff out of the way. Big up to everybody watching right now, all you guys coming through to Arsenal Lounge. If you haven't already subscribed to Arsenal Lounge, do that for us. It's a big help. And also help get more people to see the video by liking the video. All you guys in the comment section right now, big up to all you guys. And you know what? One of the guys they mentioned, Arteta out, Arteta in. Right now, we're not talking about that. Is Emil Smith-Rowe. One guy says he wants Emil Smith-Rowe on the bench. Kangaroo says, and he says Emil Smith-Rowe needs to be on the bench. What do you guys think about that? Because we just mentioned Balogun. For me, he was man of the match, guaranteed for me, ahead of Eddie Nketiah in my opinion. But Kangaroo says it right here. Smith-Rowe needs to be on the bench. What are you guys saying?
Should I go first on this one, Brandon?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, he needs to start, man. He needs to start. We have no one else, really. I mean, listen, Joe Willock, he's scoring goals in the Europa League. He's looking like a good player. But again, it's not the level of the Premier League. It's completely different, levels different. And we've given him the chance in the Premier League, and he hasn't proven himself. So I would say give Smith-Rowe some minutes. And listen, Igal, you're saying Balogun, man of the match. 100% agree. The kid played 20 minutes, and he's a man of the match. It says everything you need to know about our team. Yes, he deserved it, but Pepe was on there for 90 minutes. What did he really do much, really, apart from the assist? So yeah.
Brandon, before I go to you, we talk about Ozil this, Ozil that. Ozil played 10 games under Arteta, did not have 3 goal involvements. My guy played, I think, 2 games. You got the little one. Oh, we lost him. Okay, Kesh.
Yeah.
We're talking about. First thing we mentioned, we're talking about who we would bring into the Arsenal team that played in the Europa League game last week. Who are you bringing in?
It's obvious. It's obvious, mate. You got to bring the likes of Ainsley in, Smith-Rowe. You got to put him in. Depending on where you're going to play Ainsley, you got to play Cedric if you're not playing him in a fullback position. So yeah, there's room for changes. Definitely room for changes. And I feel the only thing that's letting Arteta down, I do feel we would be getting better results if he was given the people that's letting you down, give them the hard shoulder, tell them to just take a seat, and I think we'll be getting better results. So it's just about looking past that stubbornness and seeing these players for what they really are.
So, Kesh, I agree with you, I agree with you. I think Cedric should definitely start, but do you think he played 90 minutes last night? Do you think he'll get 90 minutes on Sunday?
He doesn't need to play 90. He doesn't need to play 90.
But you don't want to sub your right back, man. I don't want to waste a sub on that, especially if we can't create and stuff. We need to attack.
Yeah, I disagree with that. Listen, you got subs for a reason. There's no law to suggest that you have to sub a attacking player. You play Cedric, you give him about 60 minutes. If you see that he's running out of steam, you bring someone else on. Okay, that's it for me.
We haven't gotten to who we're gonna play in the team, but before we get to who we're gonna play in the team, let's assess our opponent a little bit. We're gonna be facing Burnley, and we know Burnley haven't been scoring a lot of goals this season. They have 5 goals the whole season. We know Burnley are a physical team, but Cash, you mentioned it earlier. All these people talking about Burnley's physicality. Burnley's this team that's going to bully us. Burnley's this team that's going to beat us. What do you have to say about that?
I know they're a physical team. They've always been a physical team. But they're not the only team out there that's got physicality in their team. If you look at the way Arsenal have been losing, they've not been losing because of physicality. We've been losing because of teams passing us off the pitch, targeting certain areas, doing 1-2s, move off the ball. That's what's been killing Arsenal. Us not tracking the second runners. So it's not about us getting physically bullied. So when Burnley do come, the players just need to step up. But that's all going to be determined on what lineup goes out there on the weekend.
Okay, African Gunnar, same question to you. Everyone talks about Burnley's physicality. Burnley's a team that's going to bully us. Burnley this, Burnley that. Are you worried about Burnley?
I am, because we know that the physical teams, we historically do really bad against the physical teams, and they're going to play long ball. Let's not get it wrong. I mean, they're going to park the bus, they're going to have 11 men behind the ball, and they're going to try and play long ball, counter attack, and try to snick a goal and just hold on to the goal. And we know that we can't break down teams. So we're going to have a lot of possession. We're going to try and, I guess, break them down and do that by trying to cross with Tierney and Cedric or Bellerin or whatever, with no one really to head the ball in, and pray that it comes to a Smith Rowe or El Neni. We know we saw how he scored a long distance goal yesterday. So that's going to be the game plan. As we all know, we don't have any other game plan, and I don't know if that's Arteta's fault, because frankly, we don't have the players kind of for another game plan, because we can't play through the middle. All we can really do is give it to Tierney and hope that he can have a good cross and somehow someone gets ahead to it. So I think it's going to be a really difficult game. I don't see many goals. It's going to be a 1-0 or a 2-1 or something like that. Or a 1-1, to be honest. I don't have much confidence, to be honest. I think
I'm not ruling out that Burnley can cause us trouble. Yes, they can cause trouble. We've seen it over the years, they've caused other teams trouble. But when you say Arsenal's always struggled against physicality, I don't really think that's been our problem over the last probably 3 seasons. I think that was more back in like the Wenger days. We used to struggle physically against these teams. In terms of Burnley, like, yes, they're gonna play defensively solid. They're gonna tuck their 2 banks of 4s in and try and make it hard for us. But in terms of them causing us trouble, that they're gonna try and hit us on the counter. That's the only way Burnley ever play. They don't play football, so I don't see them finding it easy to break us down like the other teams like Aston Villa have done. So it's about Arsenal worrying about going forward to the other end and making opportunities, and that's where I feel the likes of Smith Rowe come into place. Like, you saw that he didn't exactly play in his favourite position, which is behind the 10, in the 10 role. So he played on the wing, and you saw his movement and what he does off the ball. Not so much what he does on the ball; it's off the ball. Like, making that run to free up space, dragging the defender out. That's how you pull defenders out. That's how you unlock a defense. You don't always have to have the ball at your feet. Like, my coach has always told me, you make the second run, you make that diversion run, and your teammate, you make his game easier for him.
100%. And you see, he's running his butt off, dude. I saw him yesterday. I was like, damn, dude, this kid hasn't played in so long and he's running like this. I was really impressed. I love that he's running for every single ball. And that comes because he loves Arsenal, man.
Yeah.
That's plain and simple. He loves Arsenal, and that's why he runs like that. And I just wish more players had the same feeling, because they would do that, including Aubameyang, by the way, Aubameyang. And I'll say this, Nicolas Pepe, the game where he got a red card, and then we had the Europa League game, I've never seen him run like that before, and he had an incredible game. Since then, it's like everything has been forgotten. He's come back down to regular level. He needs to be running like Smith Rowe, and the kids shouldn't be showing that as an example. The senior players, especially, should be doing that.
Okay, so before we do the lineup and everything, it's good talking about all the good things and everything else, but Brandon, I'm going to throw a different question to you. Who's the first player you want to see out of last week's team sheet that you do not want to see in this team? And I know who you're going to pick, but try to be. We already know who the first guy is going to pick. Just say his name.
Bellerin.
Okay. Besides Bellerin, what's the next guy?
Xhaka.
Okay, and then the third guy.
After that,
does it get harder?
Rob Holding.
Oh wow,
dude!
I thought you would go William.
Bang on.
Okay.
Love that.
So are we all in conjunction here? Are those the 3 guys you want to take out of the firing line for Burnley?
Yep.
Listen, on Monday, I said on the Football Terrace that Holding is not good enough, and I was getting slack that apparently he is good enough. He's not good enough. He's never been good enough. He's always been, a kind of a squad player to just be there. We shouldn't be starting him. I'd play Callum Chambers. He had a really good match on Thursday. I'd play him.
Let's read this comment from Mike Overmar Stone. He says, Cedric over Bellerin, Emil Smith Rowe over Ceballos. Arteta is relying on senior players who are screwing Arteta's job. It's his fault on relying on them. And how many times does it work, lads?
It is his fault for relying on them.
Yeah.
I admit that, but
I don't disagree.
Most managers do that when they come into a job. Like, they're the senior players for a reason. But it's where do you draw the line and say, you know what, fuck you lot. Like, I'm not losing my job for you lot. I'm putting someone else in. And I feel it's a thing where I don't feel he wants to throw the young players under the bus. I think that's what it is. But there come a time where it's a stick or move situation. You know what I mean?
Frankly, he doesn't have the players, man. So I agree with you, but I also feel bad for him because like he has
I
nothing,
do.
and he has nothing else. So what is he gonna do, really? I mean, that's why he plays Willian, he plays Pepe. Same thing, man. It's not much of a difference.
Yeah.
Like Bellerin or Maitland-Niles. Okay, cool. Maitland-Niles is cool, but I mean, even in midfield, like he plays Xhaka because there's really no one else. And then Partey is out, and then he had coronavirus, so he had to be out. So I feel bad for the guy. He has literally nothing, man. Nothing.
Okay. Now let's introduce Ziptu into the conversation. Ziptu, well, we talked about some of the players that we would want to see in the team and some of the players we want to see out of the team. But before I go to that, we're not going to cover that again. What I'm going to ask you is a different question this time. What formation do you think Arteta is going to go with against Burnley? He surely has to go with the back four now, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think he has to be a little bit less defensive against a team like Burnley, who's just going to park the bus. And I feel like his Europa League formations might just be like a testing ground for him. Like we might go for a 4-4-2, and I feel like he might even see. I mean, I know Pepe is still suspended, but he might see Alba and Pepe as a front two, which would be a really interesting formation. But yeah, I would say 4 at the back. I'd say 4-4-2.
Okay, now I'm going to ask you guys. Surely everyone in the comment section is saying we're going to play with a back four. We changed to a back four. There's no way we're going to go back to a back three now against Burnley, right? At home. Can you guys see that? Okay, so the default formation is going to be either 4-4-3, 4-3-3, or 4-2-3-1, as we always play, right?
4-2-3-1. I'm saying for me, it's 4-2-3-1.
I feel like Arteta, though, a lot of times will put a 4-4-2 on paper as the official lineup, and we don't even really keep that shape at all throughout the game. Like I think that the tactics are really fluid, and you see we have 3 center backs in the back four when we had Chambers as a right back, and I saw them like switching to a back three when we were going forward. So I think even if it's not officially on the team sheet, we'll still go to a back three in attacking times.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is now we're going to go through the team. We already know the first pick. Goalkeeper is not a question, but let's just go straight to right back. Brandon, it's easy to start with you, obviously. Who are you going to go with for your right back?
It's got to be Cedric. He's had a couple of decent games in the Europa League now. You can see he knows when to go, when not to go. He's levels above Bellerin, and I think he's got more of a chance of being picked by Arteta than Ainsley Maitland-Niles at the moment.
Okay, so Kesh, you going with Cedric? Ainsley, who you picking?
I'm going with Cedric.
Okay, and African Gunner?
Yeah, Cedric. I struggle to see him actually picking Cedric because he played yesterday and he hasn't even played Premier League. But I want Cedric, so yes, Cedric.
Okay, and then Ziptu, Cedric?
Yeah, I feel like we all can say Cedric till we're blue in the face, but we know we're going to see Hector. Everyone knows. And I don't think he could even do anything to get dropped at this point. I feel like Arteta's not going to blame him. So I don't know. I say Cedric as well, but I just doubt we'll see it.
Okay, and then we got my guy. We got some guys in the comment section saying Cedric also. Some people saying they play Ainsley Maitland-Niles in the midfield. Like we'll get to the midfield in a second. But then, so what's your center back pairing? Okay, we got this comment here. Xhaka is our best. Ainsley Maitland-Niles, Willock are hardworking, and then Xhaka, and still I'd play Nelson over him.
I'm gonna rewrite that comment in proper English because I can't.
Bro, just
seriously,
bro, just proofread for 1 second.
Oh man, I think he was trying to say that Xhaka was better than all the options we have. So
okay, we're gonna get to midfield in a second. Lev, if you could put up the team sheet, I screen shared it. So far we got Cedric in there, we got Leno in there. Tierney's a easy stamp on the left wing. We don't even have to question the fact that Tierney's going to play, right?
Of course not.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's just and then center back pairing. Rob Holding's going to be not playing, so is it David Luiz and Gabriel? What are you guys saying? Or does anybody have a left shout?
I would say Callum Chambers, but we know that David Luiz is not getting dropped. He's also one of those special childs for Arteta, so yeah, he'll be playing, and he brings creativity because of the long ball nonsense that we try, and he's the only one who can really attempt to do it.
He's our most creative. He's our most creative player on the pitch.
I know.
So,
and I just wanted to make a point to Zip now in terms of what he was saying about how we changed into 3 at the back. I totally agree with you, and I see that as well. But that's because we're so bad in midfield that we switched to a 3 to take that extra player in midfield to help us create or do something, and that's why it happens. I don't think that he wants to do that. I think it's because of the players that we unfortunately have.
Yeah, I also noticed that Aziz and El Neni kept dropping back to right in front of the back line throughout the game, and it just seemed like that's one of the reasons why we're lacking creativity is that we're literally doing 3 at the back and also planting a defensive-minded midfielder.
Okay. Now, we're going to move on to midfield, but before we do, there's a shout for, obviously, Gabriel and David Luiz as a center-back pairing, but is there anybody else? Pablo Mari, somebody's saying, and Gabriel. I feel like that's too. I don't think Gabriel and Pablo Mari are going to play together this game, obviously. But do you guys see any other pairing?
Nope.
You said why not Mari? Why wouldn't he play? I mean, he can. I mean, he's shown that he can, and just if he gets picked, that's the only thing.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Holding.
That they've got 2 left-footed centre backs. You know, Arteta likes to play with 1 left-footed centre back and 1 right-footed. But I don't see why he couldn't play anyway. You know, at the end of the day, he's probably our second best defender behind Gabriel.
Exactly. That's what I'm going to say. If you have no options, then that goes out the window. I totally agree with you. But if you have nothing else, then you might as well go with Mari.
Listen, some of the best center-back partnerships we've ever had were both right-footed players. So it doesn't mean anything if they both
No, it's different. Trust me. If you play football, you'll know that it's different.
Well, you listen, Kesh, I hear you, man, but these guys are professionals, man. You're playing for Arsenal Football Club, man. It shouldn't make the difference that it makes for us when we play.
No,
come on.
Not in a defensive sense. No, it doesn't make a difference. But in terms of the balance,
I know, but it should be so small. You should be able to control on either foot and open up and be able to pass it out on the wings. You shouldn't be, so bad on one foot that you can't do that, right? Which is the reason you're saying that they shouldn't do that.
No, okay. I'm not bothered about it. But I'm just saying he lacks that balance of having a right foot on a left foot.
Yeah,
like you've seen the likes of when Kolasinac, when he passed it back.
Dude, it's Kolasinac, man. Come on,
yeah,
that guy's
he's a professional footballer, though. He's a professional.
I don't know how. That's a crime in itself.
That's a crime in itself. It is a crime in itself. Left-footed players are very one-footed. A lot of them are very one-footed.
Yeah, and the reason why he likes to have a left footer and a right footer is mainly because of playing out the back. It's easier to spread it out wide if you've got a right footer on the right side and left footer on the left side.
David Luiz plays with both very comfortably.
Now, I got the thing off the screen because I know I got the thing off the screen because I know we're going to spend a lot of time talking about the midfield and what we think we're going to play with. First thing I want to ask you guys, have you guys heard anything about Thomas Partey's status?
Yeah, a few games, whatever that means.
He'll be out until the end of Christmas.
Yeah.
Agreed. Maybe even mid-January
he'll be like a new signing, late January.
Don't start that. Don't start that. To me, the Thomas Partey situation just screams we were kind of desperate. We were looking for options. We were pushing him to come back quickly, and you know what? It's just not a good look for future signings. Our defensive midfield options are not that good, and to me, I feel like he rested Xhaka in the Europa League thinking that he's going to start this game. I feel like, unfortunately, Xhaka's going to start, guys. Do you guys think Arteta's going to do that?
Of course he's going to start.
100%.
Of course he's going to start.
Well, who's going to start?
I will say though that there's this guy that always this doctor that always comments on Arsenal players, like shout out LA to Philly. Like Raj Paul, I don't know his exact name, but he always does videos on the injured players, and I don't know how accurate it is, but I believe him because he says he's a doctor. So he said that Partey wasn't actually rushed, and that they did take the necessary precautions, but with soft tissue injuries like that, it's common that they get re-aggravated, and it wasn't really Arteta's fault, but there's just always a percentage chance. And it was a high impact game, so they should have been conservative, but they weren't. So,
and it was in the same place. It was a different place that tore. So yeah, that was definitely not his fault. And I don't blame him, man. Our team is so damn crap. Like, I would pray on Partey too, man.
On the North London derby, and you've been losing every week. I mean,
he wanted to play that game. He wanted to play.
Okay, so what's his exact injury right now? If you guys,
thigh in it.
Yeah, he tore something in his thigh.
How do you tear a different part of your thigh?
I don't know. I'm not a doctor.
It happens, man. It happens. As long as it's not hamstring, I'm not complaining. Because that's the worst injury you can ever pick up, yeah? But listen, he'll have his rest and he'll come back, innit?
Yeah. So now I'm going to pass it on to you guys. African Gunnar, first, tell us what your midfield three or would be, how you play them, and then we'll move on to Kesh.
Yeah, so my midfield three, and I'm sure a lot of you guys will like this. It is abstract. I would go with Maitland-Niles, El Neni, and Smith Rowe. That's my three. There's no harm in trying that. We've tried everything else. These kids will run. They'll do the running. They'll be more creative. They'll be more ambitious. They'll take on players. Look at Smith Rowe doing the, he was doing panas and stuff that I don't even see any of our players doing. So he has the talent and the skill to take on a player, beat him, pull other players out of their position, which is what we're talking about when Kesh was saying the second runner and things like that, right? So yeah, that would be my three, and I would really like to see that. And even if we lost with that three, I wouldn't be disappointed because at least we tried.
So I'm going to share screen that, and I want you guys in the comment section play along with us. Tell us what your midfield is going to look like, what you guys are going to play in your midfield, and we'll put some of those comments on the screen so everyone can see it. So, Avin Gunnar, so is this how your midfield is going to look? You're going to have Ainsley Maitland-Niles next to Mohamed El Neni sitting, and Emil Smith-Rowe.
Yeah, and El Neni stays, and Maitland-Niles goes and comes back. Maitland-Niles is the one who can push forward, and he has the stamina and the legs to keep coming back. Let El Neni be the defensive player in the game.
Yeah. So we got Arsene Wenger in the comment section saying Emil Smith-Rowe has huge potential. Next, what do you call it? Kesh, how are you tweaking this midfield to? Are you going to go with something more Arteta would go with, or something that you would go with?
For me, that's exactly what I'll go for.
1 second, I'm getting feedback. Zip2, I think it's you. Could you mute your? Okay. Still there? Okay, go.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'll go for, man. Seriously. And I think the added benefit to that will be when the likes of Tierney goes flying up the wing, you got a Maitland-Niles there, can shift in and cover in that position if need be. So I feel that midfield there with that back line, I feel like we get a good balance there.
Brandon, could you mute yourself? I don't think it's zipped. I think you're not wearing headphones, right? Okay, is it gone? Anyways, okay. And then, so Kesh, you're going with similar midfield?
Yeah.
Okay. And then I'll go to Brandon now. Brandon.
Yeah.
What's your midfield going to look like?
I'd probably agree with that. The only other way I could see the midfield is if you possibly took Smith Rowe out, put him on the bench, and then put Saka in the 10 instead.
I wouldn't mind that either.
So you're putting Saka in there?
That's it. I don't know why we persistent with Saka in the 10. Why every fan think Saka is a number 10? He's not a number 10.
He's not, but he can do a job because he's versatile.
But you're saying he can do a job. Why would you take a winger out and put him 10 when you've got a 10 there?
Yeah, I agree.
So you're going like that.
It's a tough one, really, because I completely get where Kesh is coming from as well. But I just think with Saka in the 10, he could cause more damage being in the centre of the pitch. He tends to pick the ball up on a regular basis. He's probably the player who picks the ball up the most out of all the players that we have, and we heavily rely on him. So if you're going to get him the ball in the centre of the pitch, he can take shots at goal. He could possibly feed through Aubameyang and Lacazette or whoever plays up front. I don't know. I'd give it a go. And see what happens.
Okay. Brendan, what do you call it? Saka, don't you think he's going to be playing on the left?
I think Arteta will play him on the left, but if it was me, I'd play Aubameyang on the left.
Okay. And then Zipzu.
Yes, this is a good question. I wouldn't mind to just see Saka in the 10, but I don't think it's right at the moment. I don't know if it's the move. I would like to see him there in like a Europa game or a cup game just to give him a run. I wouldn't be surprised. So I don't love Danny Ceballos. I think he's slow, and I don't love his game, but I wouldn't mind giving him a shot at the 10 because I feel like when he's been given a little bit of creative freedom, hasn't been half bad. So I wouldn't mind Danny Ceballos in the 10, put him up a little bit higher. And another interesting note about the game, the Europa League game, was that even though Maitland-Niles was listed as a center midfielder on a 4-4-2, all game I saw him on the left wing, up and down the field, not even anywhere close to the middle of the pitch. So I don't think that, like, as we know about Arteta's game plan, they're really flexible. Even if we did see Maitland-Niles or El Neni in these deep holding midfield positions, I'm sure they would just be scattered in other places trying to follow what Mikel's telling them to do. So
True. Yeah. And Brendan and Ziptu, if you guys could just mute your mic for a second. What do you call it? And then I think Connor McCrook said it himself. He kind of agrees with you. He says, I'd play Danny in the 10. Smith Rowe can't start. If Smith Rowe can't start. So I don't think he would start. I don't think he would start Smith Rowe. If I was myself, obviously, I mean, if I was Arteta, I don't think Arteta would start Emil Smith Rowe. I don't think he'll start Ainsley. I think he's gonna rip up everything we just did, and he's gonna change it to playing Xhaka on that left side of the back of the midfield too. He's gonna have Mohamed El Neni, and I could see us going with this kind of lineup. It's obviously not creative enough, but I could see this kind of lineup, or take one of Granit or El Neni out and put Willock in again. That's what I see Arteta doing. I don't see Arteta going with a lineup, especially with Xhaka not playing in the Europa League. He's definitely playing.
Listen, if he's gonna play Xhaka, it's got to be with El Neni, because I'm not having this Xhaka and Ceballos ever playing as a double pivot again. Honestly.
I wouldn't mind, Ceballos as a holding, Ceballos and El Neni, or Xhaka and El Neni with Laka as the 10 as a support striker. Just to give him another shot at that, because I think we saw some glimmers that it might be a good place for him.
So you guys are saying if Xhaka's playing, you have to have Mohamed.
Yeah.
Why?
I feel like Mohamed should start anyway. I feel like he's one of our best midfielders anyway.
Because if you play, listen, Xhaka is not known for picking up the second runners or the midfield runners. Yeah. So you're gonna need someone there to do that, to help him do his job. But if you play a Danny Ceballos and a Xhaka, you're going to get overrun in midfield, because they tend to just watch their runners run off them, and then by then they're already running out of defense and they're chasing back, and they've not exactly got pace on in their locker to even get back.
Okay, so if you had to put money, knowing the team and how we play, I know some of you guys in the comment section are not going to agree with this lineup, but we know if we're going to guess Arteta's lineup, this is closer to an Arteta lineup than Ainsley playing in the Granit Xhaka role and Smith Rowe playing in the Willock role.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Well, you call it Willock role, but I mean Smith Rowe is better than Willock, and you're 100% right. I see Xhaka, El Neni, Ceballos 3. That's what I see in Arteta's mind. That's what I think he'll go with. The one point I wanted to make on Smith Rowe instead of Willock or Ceballos is, one, Willock is an Arsenal boy, so he should start over Ceballos. Two, we've seen already from Smith Rowe that he doesn't go in circles like Ceballos. He has almost the same amount of technical ability as Ceballos, so that he has that going for him. And he can drive. He goes forward every single time, whereas Ceballos will also sometimes go backwards. That's why I think Smith Rowe has it over Ceballos. Like, we've seen Ceballos play. He's gotten his opportunities. I think it's Smith Rowe's opportunity now. He's fit and he's had game time in the Europa League. There's no more excuses, man. I've been waiting months for this kid to play.
I will say, though, that I think Smith Rowe needs to put on some weight and some muscle. I think it looks like he just gets pushed off the ball pretty easily. He goes down really quickly.
So does Martinelli, so do these other guys, right? If you're that You use your skill to beat your man. You play smart instead of playing physically, right? That's how some of the best players like De Bruyne or some of the Z do it, right? So I hear your point, but I feel like we can get away with that.
Okay.
Listen,
So a lot of people
passing and moving will always kill your opponent. Will always. Like football ain't changed. Like I don't understand why we feel we need a player to always beat a man, move the ball, move into space, and that's how you take part of defense.
Okay, so Brendan's next. Brendan, Willock, Elneny, Xhaka, that team sheet comes out on Sunday. You're gonna be happy or sad?
Oh, I'll be mad, mate. I'll be mad. At the end of the day, if Mikel Arteta picks that midfield, for example, Granit Xhaka especially starting in the team, and we do go on and lose to Burnley, then he deserves to be sacked. You know, you got to try something different as a manager. You got to try something different, and he's not trying anything different. He's consistently picking the same players week in, week out, and then wondering why we don't get results.
Does it not remind
and
you
that's
of
the reason.
Wenger just having unlimited trust in the same players, the same weeks over and over again? And it's like, wasn't that a problem before? Like, can't we learn from that that's not how it should be? If they're not going to just magically get better next week. Like,
maybe
I don't understand.
Maybe it's a statement. Maybe it's a statement to the people up top to
he
show.
Backs his players too much when they don't deserve it because they haven't earned the backing, in my opinion. But he's also apparently a stubborn guy. If we just look at the team sheets, it's clear.
You know what is as well, though. You know what is as well. You come into a change room, and remember, these are your most senior players. Your senior players, because like I'm not comparing Pep to thing, but remember, Pep had to proceed with the likes of Sadio and Clichy until he could clear them out. Just that City had so much quality that he was still able to get the results. And I feel Bellerin is a senior figure in his team. Like he's a vice captain for God knows why. Xhaka, senior figure in his team. Like he can go and drop these guys. And I feel what you will find is when he does drop these guys, there becomes a mutiny in the change room that him as a inexperienced manager is going to get thrown on the bus either way. I feel it's just a catch-22 situation where we've just not provided the best platform. Like we should have cleared out a lot of these players and freshen things up. Honestly.
Okay. Now, since we're on the midfield, let's talk about it. Dominic Szoboszlai. We've been talking about him a lot over the past 2 weeks. We've been talking about him a lot leading up to the transfer window. There's a lot of conversation that's going down with him. But what we're hearing is he's likely to go to Leipzig, and it looks like it could be another one that we missed out on. And I'm gonna say, obviously, there's plenty of fish in the sea when it comes to players. But did we miss the trick, or are you guys gonna be upset? What do you guys think? I'm gonna start with you, African Gooner.
I told you guys, I literally, and I hate saying I don't want to be right, man. I love to be wrong. I want Arsenal to win everything. I want to get the players that I say we are not going to get. But like I told you, we're not an attractive club. And I posted that on Twitter. We are not an attractive club. Why would he want to come to us? You know, I'm serious. Gabriel and Partey must be thinking like, what the hell did I come into? And it's not only them. It's the past few years, all the great players that we get look around and say, what the heck, right? And he cost 25 million. We're hearing that we didn't even put money on the table for him. Same old story over and over again. Listen, guys, you know, Josh Kroenke came out and said, be excited, and then he disappeared. Everything was good and stuff, and things were progressing, and then he disappeared. Where is he now? I want to understand, what is the plan in the next 3 years? We are failing as a club right now. It's his job as the owner, since he's, you know, stepping in for his father, to come out and address the fans. He has to address the fans because everything is going to shit, and he needs to tell us what's going on. Yes, I'm going to invest into the club. These are the players that we've identified, because Edu and Arteta aren't telling us that. So someone needs to tell us that. I think as fans, we need to put pressure on him in the next few weeks to say, listen, we need to hear from you in terms of what's going on at our club, because we don't see where we're going within the next few years. That's my opinion.
Okay, Aaron Benjamin put out a super chat here. Thank you, Aaron. He said, Iga, if Arteta loses to Burnley, will you admit it's time to be sacked? How long will you have to wait when we get relegated? Question mark, question mark, question mark. And you know what? I'll answer you, Aaron. I genuinely feel like Arteta's not going nowhere. as we heard the interview with Fabrizio Romano on this channel just a couple of days ago, he said it himself, the board are backing Arteta. They are backing him. They're supporting him, and he's not going nowhere. So if we're going to address and put our energy anywhere, it should be putting pressure on the club to sign the right players, putting pressure on the owner to possibly try to sell the club, or putting pressure on them in general by showing them that we want more, and this is not good enough. Trying to get Arteta sacked won't mean anything if we're in the same position with the next manager. That's just my opinion. But hey, Kesh, going back to Sabitzer, people are saying Arsenal's not a big club. We can't get Sabitzer. Guys are saying, oh, we missed a chance again. There's some person today tweeted, oh, thank God, Arsenal's only hope in the January window is now going to Leipzig. What do you have to say about that?
We say that as if he's the only player out there with quality or something like that. Listen, I'm vexed we didn't sign him because I feel it's a player with a lot of potential. And it could then come around and be another player Arsenal missed out on. But the fact that they didn't put a bid down, and it's not just Arsenal that didn't put a bid down, AC Milan didn't put a bid down. So clearly, he wasn't a 100% guaranteed signing for Arsenal the way us fans thought it would have been. We wanted him, but doesn't mean the club wanted him the way we did. They have clearly got other targets that they're going to go for.
More expensive targets, Kesh, that we know we can afford.
No, we can't afford them. Listen, we can't afford them.
Okay, we can afford them, but we won't actually get the money.
Well, obviously, when we get to that point, if they don't do it, we know we need players. So if they don't do it, then we've got every right to show our frustration. But up until then, if they go and sign a player, even if he's more expensive than that, then hats off to them. Like, you made the signing. That's all I want. I don't care who comes in this club. It could be flipping someone called Peter. As long as he come in and do the job, I don't care. Just go and get me upgrades on the players that we've got that can push us in the right direction.
I 100% agree with you, Kesh. 100%, you're bang on right. But let's look historically. They have killed us every time. Well, how do you have confidence that they're actually?
I haven't got the confidence in them doing it.
Yeah,
I can't get up and keep up a fuss because the transfer window hasn't even opened yet. At the end of the day, we're in such a terrible run of form, and I can't see where the next few points are coming from. So if you're telling me that you, as a club, is not going to go and sign anyone, then that means how you expect the results to change then.
Agreed.
So I believe they're going to do something. And someone pointed out to me, I don't know, I haven't seen the article myself, but someone said to me that apparently Josh has told Edu that he needs to go more domestic-based players. So I have to wait and see, innit? As you see, we're getting linked to the likes of Bendia. Us as fans have been asking to sign domestic-based players for how many years now? So if they then go and do it, why should we complain?
If they bring in Basuma and Bendia, I feel like that addresses some of the needs that we've been asking for, and that might be that. And to me, those are not short-term fixes. That's actually, if you went and got Eriksson and somebody else that's dead, then I'll be like, yo, that is short-term fixes. We don't want no more short-term fixes. We want long-term fixes. Zipdu, you're gonna say something? Oh, let me read this chat 1 second. Aaron Benjamin says, okay. African Gunner and Egal, what do you make of Lee Gunner selling Arteta out t-shirts? Follow the trend, eh? You know what he's doing? He basically is letting troops get all the backlash of doing it first, and now he's going off the top of it and be like, hey, I didn't do it first.
Snake. Yeah. I didn't realize that he was following Troops' misbehavior and misbehavior because, he got a lot of backlash for it, rightly so. My opinion is don't pay attention to it, don't promote it and stuff. The more you talk about it, that's what he wants. He wants you to be talking about it so more people are aware and stuff. Frankly, as a fan, I love my club and that's disgusting behavior, but I just don't really care for it, really. I have more important things in my life, and I just want Arsenal to win, and that's not going to really do anything for the club, so just ignore it. And sorry, can I address one point? Because I know that old school is waiting for me to address a point about Maitland-Niles. He's coming at me because last week when we spoke, I said I didn't want Maitland-Niles in the midfield. But if you remember correctly, I told Kesh and the panel that I wouldn't mind playing Maitland-Niles next to Partey. That would be okay for me. But if Partey was not playing, then I wouldn't play Maitland-Niles in midfield. The reason that I've changed now is, one, because I absolutely hate Xhaka, probably the most hated player I've ever hated in my life. And I'm serious about that. I have many bad things to say about him, but I prefer not to. But yeah, I don't want to see him, and we've kind of exhausted all our options to the point that I don't mind giving it a go now. It doesn't matter if you play him with Xhaka, El Neni, Ceballos. At this point, I just want creativity, and I think Maitland-Niles can do that for us. So that's your answer.
Ziptu, take it away.
Yeah, so I just think that we shouldn't forget that we have Torreira and Guendouzi on loan, who are both relatively young and both are very good midfielders. And if we sign a couple of decent midfielders with experience, it's like, oh, then we're going to have another situation where we just have too many players in those positions. I would say we should go for a higher end midfield signing with PL experience, someone like Ruben Neves, for example, from Wolves. I would love to see someone with a higher profile, who's young with a super high ceiling, rather than a couple of and I think Basuma is also a good shout, but I just feel like rather than kind of stockpiling mid-tier people, we should go for elite players and then see what happens when we get our players back from loan.
Okay, so before we go to the front three again, same thing to you, bro. What are you saying? Tell us what you're saying about buying domestic players, buying players that are Premier League proven or English playing already in the English game, because that's apparently what Josh Kroenke said to Edu. We need to address our issues and get more local talent. So what are you saying about that?
Well, really and truly, right, if you look at what Liverpool did when they was rebuilding under Klopp, a lot of their players came from Premier League clubs. So the players didn't have to settle into the league because they already knew the league anyway. And, you know, it helps with the progress of the team. It doesn't take as much time. So that's something that I'd possibly look at. On the Szoboszlai thing as well, it doesn't really surprise me that he's going to Leipzig. I mean, he's probably looking at us at the moment and thinking, what can Arsenal really offer me apart from money? Because it's looking like we're probably not even going to qualify for the Europa League, let alone the Champions League.
Okay. And then now before I screen share the front threes, I want to know, is everyone going to go, are we still going to be screaming for Aubameyang to play as a striker, or now do we kind of understand why Aubameyang's playing on the left? African Gunnar, I'll start with you.
Sorry, can you just repeat that quickly?
Aubameyang. We've been screaming Aubameyang play up front. Aubameyang play up front. We see he played up front, still didn't offer us nothing against Wolves. Then we put him back on the left, or you could say we even played like a front two with Lacazette playing behind him a little bit, but it still didn't work. We've been trying so many different things. What are we going to do to get Aubameyang firing again? Do we have to play him on the left? Do we have to play him on the right? Do we have to play him on the moon?
Really, even if you play him on the moon, we don't have players to find him there. So that is really what it comes down to, right? We just don't have the creative players to give. And this goes along with Willian and Pepe too. You know, I do have some hate on Pepe because we paid so much money and he's not the finished article. But you give him a creative midfielder and it puts him in better situations, one-on-one situations where he's, you know, passing it on a plate for Aubameyang to score. We don't create those chances for our guys to score. And yes, you know, we expect Aubameyang to score top bangers or, you know, screamers and stuff, but he's not that player. He's not a Sanchez that can just dribble 3-4 players and then chip the goalkeeper and make the whole stadium, you know, go stand up on their feet and applause. He's just not that player. So I'll put him back on the left, and I only say that because I want to see Balogun start through the middle. You know, I don't want to see Nketiah. I'm sorry. You know, he's a good kid and stuff, but as I said, he's not the one for me. Give Balogun his chance. Two goals, 1 assist. He's on fire right now. His confidence must be sky high. You know, give him the chance that he wants. You know, and if he doesn't prove himself, then cool, okay. You know, we can reduce our expectations, but you have to give him the shot. So I'll put Aubameyang on the left and put him back in the middle.
We're gonna get to that, but I like it. You're already getting me right segue into the next topic. But before we do that, let's just go back a little bit. My guy Gio here responding to what we said earlier, saying, guys, relax. Szoboszlai is waste going to Arsenal. It wasn't going to Arsenal or going to Milan. I support our RB. What? I support the RB organization. We're going to keep our talent in-house and sell to the highest seller. So it makes sense. Brendan, if you could just... Why am I hearing echoes though? Okay, continue, guys. Kesh, what are you saying with the front three, bro? Are you playing Aubameyang up top, behind? Where are you playing him?
I think you got a difficult one for me, man. Smith Rowe. Did we leave Smith Rowe in the lineup?
No, we took him out.
No. Yeah,
damn.
You got to put Aubameyang back to the left, then, man.
Yeah.
So I'll go with Aubameyang left. That's another thing us fans need to realize as well. You know, like, are we not seeing that? Like, unless we're gonna have a creative 10 and push Aubameyang through the middle, it's blocking Saka. Have you ever thought of that?
Yeah, but let's be real, Kesh, as well. Saka has dipped his form in the last couple of weeks. I'm not, but yeah, I know.
I'm saying in the long term, over the next 2 to 3 seasons, like Aubameyang should only be playing as a main striker. Otherwise, there shouldn't be any place in the team for it, because you've got the likes of Saka coming through, and he's going to need those game times. So I'll put Aubameyang on the left. It's got to be, for me, I'll probably put Bolligan, but I know it's not going to happen.
Yeah, of course it's not.
Listen,
like, I know a lot of people saying, "Oh, he's too young" and all that, but come on, mate. Like, if you're good enough to play, like, you know what I mean, like, you put him in.
Yeah.
He will score. He will score. I'm sure of it. I'm that confident. He will score or assist for sure.
Listen, at this point, we need you guys to do me a favor, guys. We need to know. Tell me, what are we gonna do? Because first we said, Arteta, you need to play Aubameyang up top. You need to play Aubameyang on the right. You need to play this guy there. Clearly, we've been trying to change it up. We've been trying to change it up.
I understand that, and I feel that's his only role. I think his role should be through the middle. Why are we playing a guy that's literally going past his 30s soon out on the wing? When we know that really his only threat is goal scoring, he doesn't create anything out there. I mean, I would love to see the stat of how many assists Aubameyang's actually got from playing out wide. Like, he's a goal scorer. He's purely a goal scorer. So we need to build the right balance of the team and get the right players in behind Aubameyang to supply him. Let's make him let's let him do what he does best, and that's goal scoring. And that's where I feel.
Kesh, I feel like he's forgotten how to do that, man. We're so bad.
Of course he has forgotten. Of course he has, because remember, we're not getting many chances. And yes, the few chances you got against Spurs, he should have done better. But when you're a striker and it's not happening for you nor the team, you fall short. If it was, we're creating like in our prime Wenger days, we were creating like 10 chances in a game. He would have bagged one of those without a doubt.
Okay, now I'm going to get to Brandon. Brandon, I want to know what your front three is going to be. But before I do that, people in the comment section, tell us what your front three is going to be. We're going to go through the front three now, and we're going to finish up the team. So you guys tell us what that is. And also, guys, come on. There's over 100 of you guys in the chat right now, and only 20-something likes. Smash that like button, guys. Get us some more likes. If you like the content, just do that like button. You know what? It helps us out to get this out to more people so they can join into the conversation and you guys can have more fun in the chat room. But yeah, Brendan, tell me, bro, what's your front three? And you've been saying Lacazette played this week. Lacazette played last week. You said the week before Lacazette needs to be dropped. What are you telling me this week, man?
Well, this is the problem, isn't it? Our whole team's crap at the moment. But I agree with what Kesh is saying. But for right now, I think Aubameyang needs to be on the left. And that's mainly because whenever we attack, we're always attacking from the left. And this guy it's all right playing him up front, but he's isolated up front. You need to get him out on the left-hand side and, try and get him into the game a little bit more. So I'd play him on the left-hand side, definitely. Up front, I don't know. It's going to have to be Lacazette, I think, because I agree with what the lads are saying. If you're old enough, if you're good enough, you're old enough. You got to look at Marcus Rashford at Manchester United and the age that he broke through into Man United's first team. And I think Balogun could potentially do the same, but I don't think Mikel Arteta will pick him up front. So I would go Lacazette up front. And then on the right-hand side, probably Reece Nelson for me, because Willian's just not cutting it.
He's injured. That's why he weren't in the team at Tottenham.
Is this unrealistic? Balogun with Aubameyang and Saka. That's what you really want to go with.
The part is unrealistic because we know he's not going to get the chance that he deserves.
Yeah, because if we're gonna say Xhaka's gonna start, we really know Balogun's not gonna start.
Yeah, put
Lacazette's gonna start.
Yeah.
Or even if we're struggling for wingers, bruv, listen, put Ainsley on right wing. Honestly, I'll put Ainsley right wing. We're not going to start.
And then put left and put up.
You're putting
Saka.
Ainsley at right wing.
Mate,
He can be.
Ainsley played there a lot of times. That's where he was starting when he was a youth, you know.
I know. He played there against Liverpool under Unai Emery.
I'll play him as a right winger. If we're not, because listen, this thing of playing Willian, like, I'm fed up of it, honestly. I feel there is a clause in his contract about guaranteed games. Otherwise, I don't see any reason why he's being persistent in playing it.
You're paying him a shit ton of money, man. I feel like he feels compelled to play him. I'm not excusing it, but I mean, I'm still giving Willian a couple more games. I think it'll show up at some point, really. And also goes back to the number 10 issue, right? We have a number 10 that makes Willian play better too, right? So hoping this game, he's going to start, by the way, just like Bellerin, just like Xhaka. He's going to start this game, and I'm hoping that he can produce any sort of output.
One thing I need to say as well, yeah, because like, I know we're not playing well, we're not creating chances, but listen, Aubameyang needs to start running like a madman. Like, I need to see you pressing. Like, I don't care if you're not scoring or if the team's not playing well. You go out there and you set an example. You press like a madman. You make runs in behind. You stretch that defense. And if you're not doing that, then you need to get dropped.
You know, we're not going to drop him. He's our captain. He's our star player, and you know.
If it's even for 2 games, like, you've got to drop him. That's how you get that anger back into certain players.
So yeah, or the opposite. You can drop him and he can be like, "F this." You know, I signed a new contract. He could be like Sanchez mode. Like I really get that feeling from him. He's too good for the rest of the team.
So be it.
Listen, player power stuff, I don't want to hear about it. I'm sick and tired of player power. I'm sick and tired of players forcing moves, doing stupid stuff. It's ruining the game and the fun for me. It's done it to me in basketball. Now it's doing it to me in football. It's ridiculous.
Listen,
but hey,
keep all that comment up. It's not about making runs. Listen, I'm not saying the ball's gonna come to him, but don't just stand there in one spot. Otherwise, there's no point you being on the pitch in the first place. You got to make runs.
Yeah. Let's be fair. A lot of times, especially like a few weeks ago, he was making the runs, but Xhaka and El Neni are not making the passes, and that's the same.
I know he's been making him run.
But he's giving up.
No, he's been making runs, but I'm talking running in behind the defense. Like, sometimes he does it, and it's half-hearted. Let's be honest.
Yeah, because we don't have the players to find the ball.
I understand, bro. I understand that.
Yeah,
I do understand that. But as a captain, you need to look past that.
Okay.
For me, Aubameyang's got this game to sort himself out and prove himself. I wouldn't drop him for this game because Burnley.
This is where you needed to score, innit? This is a game, like, you know, if the team can go and win against Burnley, install a bit of confidence in them, it could be the turning point. It's just that we haven't had that turning point as of yet. We haven't had a good game this season where the players are looking.
Since the first one, since Fulham.
That game wasn't even good. I looked at that Fulham team. I was laughing throughout that whole game. I was looking at Hector, my fellow countryman, and I was thinking, bro, like, you're terrible, bro. Like, I was watching that game. Like, you know what I mean? So the team just need to put in a good performance that everyone can look at and be proud of. You know when you do something in life and you're proud of it, it makes you want to go again. And I feel that we just haven't had that as of yet.
Listen. Okay. So we've done everything, but we know Lacazette's going to start. We know Aubameyang's going to play on the left. We know Saka most likely will play on the right or as a number 10. Willian might even play with Saka. So everything we just done, realistically, Arteta's not going to play the same lineup that we want. But even if he does play the same lineup that we want and we still don't get a result, at that point, do we have to only blame Arteta? Brendan, is it all down to Arteta at that point?
No, and I'll be honest. I don't think it's all down to Arteta now. I do agree with what you all say. The players are not good enough, but when you consistently pick the same, players week in, week out, you can't expect different results. I want to see them do something different.
I agree with Brendan. The fact that these players are not representing us the way they should be, I feel that's why a lot of fans are mad, because we know if you put the likes of the Maitland-Niles in there, they'll put in a better performance that we can look at and say, you know what, that's one of us actually out there on the pitch and giving it his best. And I feel that's the thing that Arteta needs to get out of his game. Like, you know what I mean? Just try something else. Stop sticking with these players that continuously let us down as fans and let other managers down. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. Now, before we go to the predictions, I'm going to open the floor to you guys. Is there any questions, guys, in the comment section that you guys want to ask us? Throw your questions in right now. If you guys haven't already liked the video, like the video. But predictions, guys.
I wanted to
also, you guys got any questions also that you want to ask?
Yeah, so I'll go first. I'll give my prediction and I'll answer Sentiment's comment about Pepe and Willian, of why I'm giving up on Pepe, who's our most creative player, and still giving Willian a chance. The thing is, frankly, for me, man, there isn't much of a difference. I don't see much of a difference between the two. And Pepe's been here for over a year. He over dribbles. He cost us much more money, and I have more faith in him. Whereas Willian, he's only played a couple of more games, and I really feel for him because he's coming into a dead team, man. So that's why I'm giving Willian a couple more games, and I mean maybe until the end of December, mid of December, and then I'm also giving up on him. But I feel like I need to still give him a couple more games before I really make that decision. But frankly, there's not much of a difference between the two, really. So, and then there's also these players that you have hope for. Like, I've seen Willian be such a great player, and I just want to see that Willian play for Arsenal, right? So I've seen him do it at the top level, man, and I haven't seen Pepe do that. And I've seen, I've had a whole year to see Pepe do that, and he's, he still hasn't done it for me. So that's my response on that point. I'm seeing a 1-1, guys, to be honest. I really want us to win. I just think we're going to continuously struggle to create. It's going to be one of those games. We're going to have 90% possession. We're going to be crossing in the ball, all that crap. We're going to hit the bar, but I don't think we're going to be able to actually score more than one goal, if anything. So I'm seeing a 1-1.
For me, I'm not resting my hope in Smith Rowe, but for me, I feel our performance will be a lot better with him in there. I'm not saying it's going to lead to a victory, but you will see a lot better link-up play in terms of creating chances. It will improve. We have to look at with Smith Rowe is his movement. As a number 10, it's all about your movement, like pulling defenders out and having ideas for when you get on the ball. You don't want to wait. You don't want a player that waits until he gets the ball before thinking about what he's going to do. When like number 10s, they're a specific breed. Like, they have a picture, an idea in their head before the ball even comes to them. You have to be one step ahead of your defender or your opponent that's marking you. And I feel if he plays, we will be able to unlock this Burnley defense. In terms of the scoreline, it's a difficult one for me. I can't call it.
Could you see the name again? Was it Emil Smith Rowe?
Smith Rowe, yeah. Emil Smith Rowe. So, I'm gonna say 2-0.
2-0 Arsenal.
No, but that's based on if Smith Rowe plays. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. I agree. I'll change that as well. I agree with Kesh. If Smith Rowe plays, I'm going for 2-0 Arsenal. If he doesn't, 1-1.
Guys, in the comment section, give us your predictions also for the game. And next, I got Ziptu's back in the house. Ziptu, what are you saying, bro?
I'm saying 2-1 to Arsenal. I'm not feeling confident about a clean sheet. Yeah.
Okay. And then what do you call it? Brendan, give us your context, bro. What do you think's gonna happen? And give us a little bit of your insight. People in the comment section saying Brendan's the only one speaking facts. So spit facts, bro.
Well, firstly, I just want to answer Beast Titan. He's asking why I'm blaming Arteta for some of these players. I don't blame Arteta for the players. The players are crap. But what I do blame Arteta for is consistently picking the same players who fail week in, week out. And, if you don't pick Bellerin, we can't get on at Bellerin because if he's not playing, he's not costing us. And also, as regards to the game at the weekend, I think it's going to be a 1-0 Arsenal. It's got 1-0 Arsenal written all over it. I think we'll struggle to break Burnley down because we do struggle to break teams down. They're the type of team that will sit 10 men behind the ball, try and hit us on the break. The only thing that worries me with Burnley is their height for like set pieces and corners and stuff like that. And I look at who picks up certain players. Like in the Spurs game, for example, you had a complete mismatch of Bellerin picking up Kane in the box, and I'm like, if we're going to defend like that against players like Chris Wood, I can see us conceding as well. So I'm gonna go for an Arsenal win, a 1-0.
1-0. I like that. So far we got a draw, we got a 2-0, we got a 1-0. Zipto, you gave us a 2-1, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what I would say though? Hold on, about the picking the same players though. The thing is, it's not just been Arteta that's done that. It's every manager that we've had continues to say the same players. But it's just, the only reason why we focus on it with the Burnley fan class right now is because we're not getting the results. But these players have always been getting picked by every.
Remember, Bellerin was our last hope under Unai Emery when things were going wrong. Everyone's saying, wait until Bellerin comes back. Wait until Rob Holding comes back. The same players we're criticizing right now, we were saying until they come back, there are top 4 chances.
It's unfair. It's unfair to I understand why we keep saying you need to pick other players, but then it contradicts us going back to previous years.
Arsenal fans have a crazy cycle of player appreciation where when they're playing, we hate them. When they're not playing, they're class. And then they play again, they let us down. And then it starts again. And it's
last year, Ainsley Maitland-Niles started the season. He was not. Everyone said he's not a right back. He's not a right back. By the end of the season, we didn't want to sell him.
I said, I did not me. I would sell.
So I want to answer that actually because. Sorry, go ahead, Edge.
I said not me, bro. Like my mind, like Arsenal players have done this to me for too many years. Like I've got no loyalty, no sympathy. I don't respect them whatsoever. And my opinion on them will always be the same. Like I need a complete refresh of this squad.
Agreed. I wanted to say to Zipdow, like, I totally hear you, man. And you know, my opinion on why that is, that we go through this cycle, is because as fans, we know that we're not going to get new players. So we have to, like, accept that these shit players are all we have. So we're like, okay, we love him because we want him to do well. But then he does shit, and then we're like, fuck, shit, he's shit, and then he does well. So we keep going through the cycle as fans because we know nothing else. We know that our expectations are not top-class players, which is why we have to keep settling for people like Bellerin, Xhaka, Mustafi, Holding, Eddie, Willock, Nelson. I mean, all these players, man, they're not Arsenal material. They're not going to win us the Champions League, right? And that's why we keep going through this cycle. Really, and this is years of hardship. That's why I have that feeling.
1 second, let me just stop you there, Ziptu. I'm going to get you back to your point. Before I say my prediction, I just want to tell you guys in the comment section, if you want to ask any of your questions, submit your questions now. If you want to throw in a super chat, throw that in also. We don't mind. But Ziptu, before you go, I'm just going to give my prediction. I feel like I hear you guys, but I feel like Burnley, sometimes we underestimate our opponents. Right now, we're in a bad run of form. We've lost 3 games in a row at home. So now we're almost raising the level of everybody else's names. Even though we're facing Burnley and we know they're a relegation battle team, we're saying, oh, we're going to struggle against them. I don't think we're going to struggle against Burnley. I think we're going to do well against Burnley because of the situation that we're in, because they don't score many goals, because they're a poor side. And I generally feel like we're going to go out. We're going to surprise some people. We're going to probably get an early goal. Burnley's going to have trouble breaking us down. We're going to nick a second goal. And I feel like I back cash. We're going to get a 2-0 win versus Burnley. And that's just my feeling about it. But African Gunner, I can sense your pain, but let me get to Ziptu. Ziptu.
I'll just say, Igal, and I've said this before, I just really admire how optimistic you are. I've been crushed for too long to have that sense of hope. But what I'll say is the latest example of the player cycle who I'm way more excited about than I should be is Callum Chambers. I think he looked really good. He looked like his distribution was really good. He was getting in form. He looked like he had good chemistry, and then of course did his knee again. Gone for another 9 months. Now he's back. So I would love to see Chambers get a nice run into the team, and I think he could be a solution. But it's the same exact thing that always happens with all Arsenal players. He might just be shit. So we don't even really know.
Okay. Next question. We got Albion. Strictly Albion says, why can't we buy a proper creative midfielder in Grealish, Madison? Them men would lick their lips in this Arsenal come calling. Like I genuinely feel like, did you guys see what Grealish did? Grealish is a PR guy.
He's a dirty player.
He knows what to do to stay relevant. I think he released that picture with that girl on purpose so he can stay relevant for the transfer window. That guy is hilarious. But do you guys think we could get these kind of guys and attract them from Aston Villa?
I mean, Grealish will cost over 100 mil. I'm pretty sure that was the price in the summer. It was like 150. It's like we're never ever going to spend that. Maddison, I would spend up to 70 on Maddison. I think he could be a building block for this club moving forward. But honestly, if I'm looking at Leicester versus Arsenal objectively, Leicester's a better run club.
And a better team, too.
And a better team. Why would he come to Arsenal? That's like going to a place that used to be great because it used to be great. But like, why not just be a part of the new wave that he's on?
Bang on, bang on.
Okay, and then African Gunner, what are you saying?
Yeah, I had two questions to ask.
I'm going to ask you and Brendan this next question, and Kesh. Strictly Albion said another. Why such a big club acting so small?
Because we're cheap and our owner doesn't care about football, soccer, whatever you want to call it. I mean, he doesn't have any passion for the game. He's also not really as smart of a business owner as people think he is. I don't know how he came up with billions, because you can't tell me any billionaire is stupid enough not to invest into their team that they own and make back that money, 3-4 times, by winning things, winning trophies, making Champions League consistently, right? So you cannot tell me that this guy is a smart owner. He definitely isn't. But yeah, it just comes down to him not really caring, and as long as it's not hurting his pocket, which it is now. So we're finally seeing him, put money for Partey, give us 40 million. The fans are going crazy. He should have been doing this 10 years ago, man. It's too late. Everyone is caught up. There's too much money in the game. All the teams below us has caught us up. So it hurts for me to say that. And I was gonna say, Egal. As Zipdow said, like you're setting yourself for heartbreak. Hopefully not, man. I hope we win, but I mean,
it's Burnley.
I know. I totally agree with you, but we have no reason to even think that it's Burnley because that's how bad we are. But you know what? The fans are gonna be there this weekend, so if it goes wrong, I think the fans are gonna turn on Arteta there. Like when there was like, oh, we won Wenger, that stuff is gonna start happening, because there's fans there and fans are tired. If one thing goes wrong, the fans are gonna turn on to the team. If we lose, it's gonna get toxic and it's gonna keep going downhill. I had two questions. The first question is one in terms of Josh Kroenke, guys. Is it time now for us to put pressure on him and really ask the question and get him to come out with a statement to say, what's going on with the club? Because it has been, over a year and a half since this guy has really said anything and been involved. And then the second question is, we know we can't break down teams. Don't you think that we should be working and training every single day to learn how to break down a team, right?
I don't think it's that easy, man. I really don't think that it's that easy. Like, if you told me I can put a Xhaka in the Chelsea team and a Ceballos in the Chelsea team, take away the likes of who's playing at their number 8s right now, Mason Mount, and whoever else is playing next to Kante, their chance creation will drop. I'm telling you, their chance creation will drop. Like, I don't feel the personnel, as in the sort of profile and the way you want to play, they help the situation. They don't.
But Kesh, we only have one plan A.
Brandon wanted to reply to that, but he's just muted, so he couldn't jump right in. Brandon, what were you going to say to what African Gunner said?
For me, right, the owners are a massive issue, but we can't moan as Arsenal fans about the lack of investment because we're built on a self-sustaining model, and that is how it is. You say it doesn't work, but you got to look at the players that the money that we've spent. We've spent £72 million on Pepe, £50 million on Aubameyang, £50 million on Lacazette, £35 million on Mustafi. So we have spent money, but the problem that we have with this board is they don't care about football. We know that. But if you're not going to take an interest in it, then at least put the correct people in charge. And we've invested badly. That's what it is.
Cool. But then Brandon, shouldn't he come out and say, like, have some clarity to the fans? There needs to be some communication. Cool. Okay, we've invested badly. He needs to say that he's going to fix that. Like,
That's what. Listen, if he came out and said, you know what, like we've been putting these people in charge just to run the business for us, make sure they oversee everything, and they've not really done it the way we expect them to do it. But we're looking to turn the corner, and we're going to make sure we do our due diligence and make sure we get the right people in the scene.
Exactly.
You know what?
Exactly.
Then I feel we wouldn't be so angry and have this frustration built up. Like that's what it is. The fact that we keep doing it year after year, like we sacked so many people that they brought in, that's just not done the job that they was expected to do. And
Okay.
if it continues to happen, like say for instance, Edu goes and signs another player for 50 mil or something, and that player flops as well, then it's just like, where do you go from there? It's the owners. That means the owners can't do their job first, because their job first is to hire the people, and that's where it starts from. So if you can get the right people in the backroom staff or on the board who's going to do the recruitment, then we can kick on. But until you do that, where do you go from there? You can only blame the owners.
Agreed.
Okay.
It's not so much about the money that's being spent for me.
1 second. So
Another big
I just need to
problem
read this question.
Sorry.
The man asks us a question. Who's Arsenal more likely to get? Well, Marwa or Ericsson?
Ericsson.
Zip
I don't think we're gonna go for it. I don't think we're gonna go for Ericsson.
I think, given the public statements that Mikel Arteta has given in admiration of Aouar, he's probably one of our top targets. I think that the money will get in the way of things, but the good thing is that there's that media deal that's falling apart in France. So a lot of teams are looking to like liquidate their players, get some pound, get some money in there. So I would think we should take advantage of whatever whatever weaknesses they have. That's also an Arsene Wenger move where, buy clubs from, like, we got Santi Cazorla from Malaga when they were doing a fire sale. So let's just get a player. Let's get the best player from a team that's in a tough position.
You just need to do what teams was doing to us when we was on the financial constraints, like restrictions.
Yeah.
Like, just do what they're. Listen, you got the likes of Valencia who's in trouble right now. You're gonna have the teams in France who's gonna be in trouble right now. Listen, you go and take charge, and you take advantage of these teams. So when people are saying to me, "Oh, yeah, Arsenal, you didn't get Shabazz right," listen, there's many players out there. You got the likes of Carlos Soler. Like before this season started, I was looking at Ferran Torres and Carlos Soler, thinking these are great players. Like whoever gets these players are gonna be laughing. And you see what Ferran Torres is doing at City right now.
Yeah.
And they got him on a cheap. They didn't even have to meet his release.
They got Torres for like 25 mil. I think it's like, why didn't we buy him?
Bro, listen, that's what I'm saying. So it's what this is. The director of football needs to be doing his job. I understand Edu's only been in for since Raul. He's basically taking charge now. Raul's gone. Now is the time. From January into summer, this is where you make your mark and show us that you are the right person to get this club going in the right direction. Otherwise, people are going to be calling for your head. I'm going to be included in one of those people.
Yeah, Kesh, perfect segue to this question. Are Arsenal the worst in Europe and recruitment based on look at what's been going on at our club, like chasing players at the end of the window, overspending, unsustainable, unsuitable standard players. Like it's just what named block? What is his name? Name blocker or whatever. Name blocked. Yeah. What he said. Do you guys agree with that?
I agree with
Brandon because you just spoke about that, Kesh, literally like a second ago.
Sorry, so repeat that again, mate.
So he's basically saying Arsenal are one of the worst teams in Europe at recruitment based on players we chase at the end of the windows, overspending, and the standard of players we get sometimes.
100% we are. 100% we are. I see another comment in the comment section, right? And I completely and utterly agree with it. And he's spot on with this one. The problem is before we had yes men. Yes men in charge of the football team. People that would just say, yes to everything. Now we have an experienced men, in Edu and Arteta, and all of this is costing us big time.
Inexperience plus yes man, I would like to add. It's not just inexperience, it's both. And in terms of what he said, you also need to add to the fact that we got a Ramsey for free, Mkhitaryan for free, Alexis Sanchez for free, Socrates, Mustafi, the list, it goes on and on and on. So not only are we overpaying for players because we wait till the end and then have to overspend on those shitty players, but we also are losing all the money that of our valuable players. Iwobi is our most expensive outgoing at Arsenal Football Club. Just think about that. That is outrageous.
The fact that we didn't sell Sanchez to Man City, the fact that we did, that's criminal.
Forget that, Cash. Even Ramsey, right? Let's be real. If we got 40, 50 million for Ramsey, we wouldn't be in the situation we are right now. We could have gotten a Bruno Fernandes or any Cam for that money. That's the freaking problem we're in right now. We lost that money and we didn't replace him.
You guys want to know what's even worse? You know what's worse than Iwobi? Our record sale before Iwobi was not Oxlade-Chamberlain. It was still Overmars to Barcelona.
And do you know what's even worse than that? What makes it even worse is when you see teams like Liverpool selling Dominic Solanke for £20 million. And we can't get anything for
Ryan Brewster for 20 mil.
Ridiculous.
The other thing that I will say that has been interesting to watch is I think that Edu, I don't know how to pronounce it, is trying to. I think that he's trying to change the perception of Arsenal as a weak-minded English transfer market club, and that was part of the reason why we waited till the last day to buy Partey, because he didn't want to show our money. And it's like, man, you're not tricking anyone. Everyone knows Arsenal has money. All these top Premier League clubs have money. Like, if we're going to use it, let's just be confident and buy who we need to buy. Like, there's no need to, like, he should have been integrated into the team 2 months earlier. It makes no sense. Like, there's this whole like perception thing that Edu's trying to finesse, and it's like like everyone knows that we have a lot of money, and we've been saying that we don't for years. It's just it doesn't make sense to me.
Listen, Fabrizio said it on the channel a couple of days ago. If you guys already watched the video, he said Arsenal have money. He said Arsenal are looking to make moves. He wasn't really going to say names or specific things, but he kind of said trying to get rid of players. Ozil is 90% going to be leaving. 100, not 100%, obviously. Nothing's ever 100%, but 90%. And if Ozil leaves, and we can get if we can get 3 or 4 players out, I guarantee you at least 1 or 2 are coming in.
Yeah.
If we're able to do that, I'm going to go and thank God, because I don't see that happening for us. We've been needing to get rid of 4 or 5 players every single year for the past years.
I think they did wrong. I think with the likes of the Socrates deal, okay, Napoli didn't end up selling Koulibaly, so I can understand that one. But with the Kolasinac deal, that fell apart because wages. Like, the simple thing would have been to say, listen, I know you got 1 year left, we'll pay 50% of that, and got him off the wage bill. You know what I mean? Like, we're not proactive. Like, we're always trying to save face or something. I don't get it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you saw what Man United done with the Sanchez. They sent him out on loan. Yes, they was paying off his wages, but then it came to it and they said, listen, you take him, and you take the old wages off us, isn't it? And simple. I swear they even got like 10 mil for that deal as well.
They got 15, I think. But
you know what I mean?
That went to agents. Look, let's read this question. Gio saying, who is responsible for not re-signing Benacer before he came to Milan? The club I support now, Chelsea, City, Real Madrid, want to buy him for 50 million.
Yeah, he was. We had a thing in his thing where we could have got paid 4 mil for it, but we took the.
We sold the wrong Deadwood. We sold the wrong Deadwood.
They took instead of buying him back for the 4 mil, they took the 40% sell-on clause to get the money into the club rather than buying him back. But the better option would have been to purchase him for 4 mil, because now if you look at how much he's going for now, he's going at a going rate of 40 to 50 mil.
And you look at our midfield too. We have nobody, man. We're getting rid of all our midfielders.
He's being linked to City. He's being linked to Chelsea as an option. Like and what? Oh my God!
I was screaming for him. man.
Daniel Malen is tearing up Eredivisie with PSV.
Being linked to Dortmund now when Sanchez replacement.
Yeah.
I mean,
oh my God!
Listen, all these players as well. Yeah, like they went. Remember, these players went on the Wenger. Like, I remember Wenger played Benacer as a left winger against Blackpool, I think it was. And it was that game that made Benacer say, listen, this ain't working for me, I'm going to leave. the fact that he played left wing and he wasn't able to impress. If you look at what he said, after the African Cup of Nations, he had done an interview and he said it was that game that changed my mind for me because I had my opportunity and it was as a left winger, which I don't play. So how else am I meant to show my ability to break into this team?
We're gonna do the same thing with Guendouzi. A lot of fans don't like Guendouzi, but realistically, in this team right now, what we have, he would have been a better option than El Neni. He would have been a better option than
Xhaka.
Xhaka.
I've said this before, and I truly believe this. We have the worst asset management in football
history.
Terrible.
In football
Football history.
Yeah.
I believe that. And JRA, think about JRA going to, where'd he go? Angers or some French team, Reims.
And that was on the Emery. Emery didn't want him.
Yeah, and then he goes to
straight to
Lyon, Nice,
Yeah.
25 mil.
The Champions League beating Man City.
That's what I'm saying. That for me comes down to your director of football. Yes, you're meant to have a synergy where you dictate everything and you talk to your manager about it to make the right decisions. But your director of footballer is what primarily makes the decisions, and that's why Wenger they decided to go the other way with Wenger, because Wenger didn't believe in that. He wanted to make the decisions himself. So when they go and give Arteta head coach role, then change it to a manager, then I think like there's no clarity in what this club wants to do because you've gone back to what you wanted to go away from. How does that make sense? You didn't want a manager anymore. You wanted a head coach, so you can put a director of football to make the decisions. Now you've gone exactly straight back to that. So there's no clear ideas of what this club wants to do overall.
Kesh, which is why I'm saying, Josh, like we got an explanation from Vinay, right? Which is all political and stuff. He had to be the one who has to say something. But Josh needs to come out and explain to us as fans why they made that decision. Because he's totally responsible. That's his job. As the CEO, as the owner, it's his responsibility to tell the fans why we went through this, why there was a mistake, and why they think, going to this is going to help us in the future. We don't have that communication as fans, which is my frustration, right?
There's no clarity with these owners, and that's what pisses me off the most. Like when you look at other clubs and you see with City, you see clarity with City, you see clarity with a Chelsea, Abramovich, and that. You know what I mean? There's nothing there. There's no relationship with the fan base.
Okay, so guys, we're gonna be wrapping up.
Next question, Egal, if I may.
We're gonna be wrapping up in 3 minutes, so just letting you guys know, we got 3 more minutes, guys. So throw in whatever questions you guys want to throw in. African Gunner, let everyone know where they can catch you, and then tell us your question.
Cool. No, Mike asked the question asking me why Mustafi was captain last night. And frankly, I can't even answer that question for you, man. Like, absolutely ridiculous. But it's just Arsenal in a nutshell. I mean, Pablo Mari was our captain in the last game, and I was losing my shit. Even though he was the third captain, this guy's played 3 freaking games for Arsenal. And you're giving this guy the captain's armband? Like, absolutely just, that really bothered me.
Yeah. I can't be so surprised that there's no captain there. Like, even... before we finish here, I'm going to throw this out there because I see a lot of people saying, but yes, Emery got us to a European Cup final. But the difference is between that European Cup final, you had the likes of Ramsey, you had the likes of Mkhitaryan, and shit he was. He got a few goals. Yeah, we had goals in that team other than Aubameyang. Then you had the likes of Cech, who was a leader. You had Koscielny there as well, who was a leader.
Oh, yeah.
So it's not just all about having the quality. It's the players who's got the know-how and the experience of being in this club. And there's no one that's like that here right now. And that's why we're
but there were so many options, man. There were more he could have done.
No, that was left at that time. There was only Ainsley Maitland-Niles and a few kids that was left at that time.
Was El Neni not still on the field? Like, it just really bothered me. I feel like he should have given it to anyone else who's been there longer. And
listen. At the end of the day, the captaincy doesn't mean nothing to anybody anymore.
And that's disgraceful.
That's what it is, and we just know that. Let's be honest. Aubameyang, as good as he might be, he's not a captain. We don't have a captain. We don't have a leader in this club, and that's what Kesh's point was. Now, African Gunner, tell the people where they can catch you, bro.
You can catch me at La African Gunner on Twitter, and you can catch me on here every week on Fridays.
There you go. You already know. Kesh, tell the people where they can catch you, bro.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter. That is Kesh AFC04. You can also find me over here on Friday night and also on the EGTV.
Yes, that's my channel if you guys don't already know. And then you got Zipdu in the house, bro, all the way in the States. My guy, tell them where they can catch you, bro.
At ZipDAO, same thing.
There you go. There you go. And you guys already know the Kitty G, EGTV. You already know where to catch me. I'm gonna be back doing my own thing on my channel at 10 o'clock. If you guys want to watch the preview from on my channel later on in the day, you catch me at 10 o'clock. And you already know we'll be back here every single Friday, breaking down the Europa League games and breaking down the previews for the Premier League games. And you know what? If we can, maybe we'll do it 2 times a week sooner, because it might be coming quick and fast. But I'll let you guys know if we do.
And yeah,
big up to you guys.
Big up to the lounge as well for having us on. Thanks, guys.
Yeah,
Of course,
And
of course.
Lev and Shaheen, you guys are legends. Keep it up.
Bro, you literally were just going to take the words right out of my mouth. If you guys haven't already subscribed to the Arsenal Lounge, subscribe to the Arsenal Lounge, like the video, share the video. And also, if you haven't seen the Fabrizio Romano video, it's very educational. You'll find out a lot of good things that you haven't known before. And you know what? They asked the perfect questions. I felt like I've never seen the man grilled so much in my life. I thought he was in court the way they were grilling him. But yo, big up.
Go watch that and share it out, man. Keep it going out there.
Yeah, man. And yo, Lev, if you're in the background, I respect to you, bro. Respect to Shaheen too. And thanks for having us, guys. Arsenal Lounge. We'll be back next week. And peace out, ladies and gentlemen.